Cotie as captain, 38 years in Ottawa Fire, and I'm here to talk to you guys after.
And get your helmet that you lost in a fire.
Well, I don't know about that yet. Okay.
Well, welcome. I'm gonna switch the camera over here to Platoon Chief.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ron Amos, Platoon Chief on D Platoon, the platoon that Al was on years ago, and Al was my second captain as a rookie on the fire department.
Welcome.
37 years ago, unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here now to this gentleman right here, who I finally tracked down at 9:30 last night. What a trooper. And you are?
I'm Walter George Hall from Ottawa Fire.
The first. The first, Walter George Hall? There's no second, okay.
The first. I worked with Al, who was my first station, first captain. Taught me to respect everybody else and mind my manners.
Wonderful.
It was like a second father.
I'm going to go to your right, to this gentleman here who was very important on this day. Jean-Guy. And your last name again is?
Hello, my name is Jean-Guy Leclere. It's a French name from Quebec City. I grew up there. I moved in 2009 for being a fire chief in Gatineau Fire. And I received a gift 15 years ago. That gift I didn't know was belonging to you. And it's an honor for me to be here today.
And we're going to hear about that story, are we not? Awesome.
Did you drive fire, Jean-Guy?
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here to two wonderful ladies and a puppy dog. I'm going to start off with Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy Cotie. I'm the proud daughter of Allan Cotie, and was always very honored to have him and know he was a fireman.
Awesome. And we have Rhonda.
Wanda Cotie.
Wanda, my apologies.
Yeah, my dad also taught me lessons on how to, be polite and make sure I was always meeting my P's and Q's. My father's always set an example of a hero, and my dad's still a hero.
Awesome. Yeah. And to your right, we have...
Hi, I'm Madelaine. I'm the granddaughter of Al Cotie, and I'm very excited to be here today. It was so unexpected.
Very nice of you to come, Madeleine.
Awesome. And last but not least, I'm going to slip all the way over here beside Jean-Guy and beside the chief, and we have...
I'm Cody Campbell. I'm Al's only grandson, and I've known him more as a retiree than a firefighter, so...
Awesome. All right, so that's wonderful. Welcome, everybody. So here we are with retired Captain Al Cotie and two of his young recruits from way back when who were retired and on the road to retirement. And Al, even before these two young recruits came along, can you describe, first of all, what it was like being a firefighter? Your first day going into the station, what did you drive into the station with? Did you take transit? What was the gear like? And your first call and what type of truck you drove in?
Well, can I start when? Now?
Right now, absolutely.
Yes. My name is Al Cotie, and I was hired on the Ottawa Fire Department December the 2nd, 1957, and I had a 51 Studebaker.
Oh, wow.
And I drove into the number 4 station, which was in the market in those days.
Okay.
It was on, you guys remember?
William Street, Clarence.
It was on, anyways, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but in any event, there was 28 fellows, just like myself, coming into work. And we all got to know each other quite well. We were there for 6 or 7 weeks, and we were quite a crew. As a matter of fact, we took the plates out of the kitchen, which was on the top of number 4 station, for parties and that. They used to rent that hall, and we made badminton bats out of them, and we we played badminton upstairs in the hall, and the chief was Dick. What was his name of the chief?
Will? Was it Will?
It was Chief Dix.
Yeah. Or Al.
He was the drill chief.
Yeah.
And one day the bats were quite slippery, and they got away and went through the window onto George Street. And the chief was a good-natured guy, and
Ebert Dix.
And he disappeared during the session, and he came back with a bunch of bats from the shop downstairs.
These boys.
He had them made, and he gave us those bats to play badminton with. And
So do you recall the very first call that you went on?
yes, indeed.
What type of call was
Well,
it?
it was two types of calls. I'd have to tell you the two of them. The first one was we were in the training center, and there was a big fire broke out on Sussex Street. And they had this old ladder truck, and they loaded us all on the ladder truck and took us up to Sussex Street to the fire. And in any event, one of the chiefs told me, he says, you go with this fireman here and he'll show you what to do. So he took me up on the top of a building in Sussex Street, facing towards Hull, and put me up there, and the guy introduced himself, and he was a nice fireman. He was very friendly, and we had a deluge gun up there. So he said, you take this crank, and he says, you can turn that hose any way you want. But he said, I'd like you to do one favor for me. And I said, yes. He said, take that gear, and he said, you see, way down on Sussex Street, there's a guy with a white helmet. And he said, he's a big, heavy man, and he said, you won't have any trouble. He says, so you steer that towards him. He's on the road down there.
Was that Phil Larkin?
I think it might have been Phil, or it might have been before him. I think it was the French version. It wasn't the 57 chief, it was the next Pagy, I think.
Okay.
And he said, you do this one favor for me. He said, you crank that over and you steer towards the man, big fat man, heavy man, he says. He said, and then he said, turn around. So anyway, I do it, and I turned it towards the guy, and my God, I didn't realize that it would go 100 feet or so through the air like that. But it got him really good, and he shouted, yelled, and he ran off to the side. But anyway, it was funny after, but I guess it wasn't funny for him.
Now, I have a story that I read about you and the late David Joyce.
Oh, yes.
You rescued an 11 and a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Can you share, that's a really feel-good story. Can you share a little bit about that? I think it was 1980, was it not?
Yes, it was 1980 in my recollection. And we responded from Carling Avenue, the fire station there, and we had an aerial truck. And there was, I would say there'd be 5 guys on the aerial truck. So I was the acting lieutenant on the truck. I might have been a lieutenant. But in any event, I ordered a 200-foot rope. And we took the rope down to the water, and these 2 girls had been on the ice with their bicycles. And when the water had gone from under the ice, and the ice broke off, and the girls floated down in the current. Now, just per luck, the ice, it caught on a section there going around the corner. If it had went around the corner, they would have headed for the dam at Chaudière, I guess it would be. And they probably would have been drowned. But in any event, I took the end of the rope, and there was Dave Joyce, and there was 4 other chaps, Bernie Matheson, and there was Bob Smith, and there was another Smith, I can't remember his name, but in any event, I headed out towards the girls, and I just threw my helmet and my coat down, and I took the rope over my shoulder, and I went approximately 80 to 100 feet out into the outer river, and the current was very heavy, and there was ice coming down. It was in, the date of it I do not remember, I think it was in April.
Spring, early spring.
Any event, Dave Joyce, he was like a robot in those days. He was a very good young fellow. He just came to number 12, not too far back, and he was on my tail very close. And when the rope bound up out there, we used to roll them in a specific way. My name is Al Cotie, and I was in the Ottawa Fire Department for 38 years. I was hired from Maynard Dolman was the chief then, and myself, I was on December the 2nd, 1957. And that gave me the jump on 28 guys that came on after me in February the next year. But it meant a little bit when it came to promotion time and that, because you could claim another year, you know.
That's right, you worked on points back then too, right?
Well, it was more or less like that, yes.
Time and points, yeah.
In any event, Ron Amos was one of the younger fellows that went through my station.
As a rookie.
And I believe, I don't know what year it was, Ron.
1987.
Explain to these people.
Yeah, so I was hired in June of 1987 on my birthday.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
87?
1987, yeah.
It's something.
And you were Station 12, old Station 12, and Tavistock was my second station in the job, in my rotation. So back then, we did three station rotations, and then we ended up in our final one. And you were the second station that came in as Station 3 was my first, and then Station 12 was my second station. So you were my second captain.
Yes,
I did a 3-month rotation there, and yeah, it was an experience. Just thinking of some of the members that we had to work with there. Maybe we'll talk about them after, but it was good.
Did you come to the station alone, or were you with a group?
No, came by myself.
Yes.
Yeah. And Kenny Heron was after me, I believe.
Yeah,
Kenny Heron came in. I think he was after me into your station. He was either before me or after me. I can't remember. We got hired together.
Good.
Hi, I'm Wally Hall. I got on in 1984, the Ottawa Fire Department. Al Cotie was my first captain on D Group, which when we were in drill school, they asked us what shift we would like to go to, and I was always told, because I had a brother-in-law on B Group, he said, tell them you want to go to D Group, stay away from C Group. So I went to D Group, which was number 12 on Tavistock. And there's some Nice stories in that station. If the walls could talk with Guppy Mullins.
Okay. Second here, I'm putting both cameras on record.
I was just sitting here thinking about some of the firefighters that were in the station when I went through my rotation. And I was thinking of Carl Waddell, John McHale, which John McHale, we were just saying, John McHale ended up being the best man at my wedding. And he passed well before his time, right?
Yes, that's for sure.
That's good memories with John. I'm just trying to think, Mulligan? Gary, who was the guy that was a fighter?
Bob
Gary Spence.
Oh yeah, Gary Spence, that's
Yeah,
right.
Gary Spence was there.
Yeah.
Was,
Yeah.
was Bob Mullen?
Bob Mullen, that's it.
Yeah, Bobby Mullins. Yeah, he was.
Every
he
time
was
I
like
went
a
in there,
senior.
every time I went in there was a story.
Yeah,
had
he
a
didn't
story.
write, but he was like a senior man. He was the senior man of
Was he
of
not
the
a fighter?
station.
Did he not have a?
He was a fighter, but I had a talk with him before that he came to the station. Him and the guy that was in the restaurant business in Empire after. He had TB from #1 station.
Huh,
An Italian.
really?
He lived off of Carling Avenue there.
Yeah,
Anyways, I can't think of his name. But in any event, him and Bob Mullen did not get along. He was a lieutenant at #1 station.
Stu Carr? Not Stu
No,
Carr.
no. He was a lieutenant at #1 station.
They do.
And anyways, the chief wanted Bob Mullen to go to #1 station, but they didn't get along. So Bob Mullen, he met me at Carlingwood, and I said to him, what's up, Bob? And he said, I take a little favor, he says. I would like to go to your fire station because he said, I do not like this guy, the lieutenant at #1. And he said, we don't get along and we're going to have a fight or something. So I said, well, tell you what, Bob. I said, you can come to #12, but you must absolutely behave yourself. I said, no more of that nonsense that you heard. And I said, if you do that, you'll be out of there right away. You know? But he absolutely behaved himself just about all the time.
Just about all the
He
time,
threw
yeah.
hamburgers against the wall and
he had a temper.
you know, the temper.
He had a little temper. That's right.
Yeah. But
There's another guy that had a temper.
I remember Bob. We're going to talk about this at lunchtime when I think it was Gary Spence went in the fridge and what was it? Was it Chinese food we had? And there was some chicken balls left over. And Gary Spence took them home to his dog. And Bob was looking for them. And he lost it because he says, since when does your dog like chicken balls? Anyway, and then another time when Bob was there and we were cooking, I was trying to talk to him and say, Bob, don't worry about it. You've got a couple of more. He was boiling water for his hot dogs because he wouldn't get in on the meals. Anyway, what did he say? I said, you just got a couple of more years, you'll be out here, you'll be retired. Oh, and that just, he lost it. Took the pot of water, threw it at me. You're sitting at the table and you were just, like you couldn't believe what just happened. I had a bruise on the side of my leg and, you did ask me if I wanted to do anything about it. And I said, no, don't worry about it. What happens in the station happens in the station.
well, he said,
Those were some of the things we had going on.
yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
Well, he was an absolute character. My nephew, he was working for someone else and he was working in our station. So Bob Mullen says, is it okay, Captain, if I go over to McDonald's and get a hamburger? I said, my nephew Doug, I said, he's just here for the one night, so I said maybe he would get you one. So he went over to McDonald's, but Bob said, listen, no onions, I don't like onions. So anyway, poor Dougie, my nephew, he goes over and he brings back a hamburger for the different guys. He's in the washroom, and Bob Mullen takes the hamburger and opens it up.
It's full of onions.
Said, onions? And he slammed it together, and then he threw it against the ceiling, and it all splattered
Oh yeah.
all over.
Real temper.
Oh, yeah, a big temper. But anyway, that's only a short story we can tell you. all
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
But
We got one. Remember the one with Kenny Herron and Carl Waddell at lunchtime study period when you were making up some drill for this afternoon, and this is the time the officer was in his room doing drill, like getting it ready for us, and we were in our rooms reading over our material. It was called study period from 12 to 1:30. Well, it was more fun time for us because Carl and Kenny started to act out, and one mattress ended up out the window on the parking lot road. And then the next thing you know, Kenny's sheets went out the window. So then Carl went running around to get the mattress, and Kenny was leaning out the window to get his sheets. And the window sort of opened up like this and closed, and Carl came by and he slammed the window shut on Kenny's fingers. And you came out of the room with your hair up and all excited, and you know, they were going to split us up at that time. At number 12, they were going to separate us all. Do you remember that?
no, it was not that one, but
I remember the time when Carl got you from the roof with the pail and you were cutting the lawn.
Oh yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
well, Bob Mullen was a really, really hard guy to manage. He said, on Sunday, I said to him, Bob, you wash all the dishes in the station today. And I said, make sure they're well done and everything. And I said, yeah, whatever the guys were going to do.
Yeah.
So anyways, I went into the office and I was there, and Bob Mullen come in and he said, he called me Al in the station most of the time instead of Captain. And he said, Al, I'm not going to do the dishes. I said, why not? He said, well, I just don't feel like it. I said, well, Bob, I said, you must do the dishes. So I said, I'm not, that's an order. I said, you must do them. He said, well, I'm not doing them. So I said, well, I'll call the district chief. And I said, you might end up at number 8 station, or, so he said, I'll do what you want, he said. So I called the district, and he came out, and he took him in the office, and he talked for a while, and then he says, comes out, he said, you'll have no trouble with Bob from now on. He said, he's going to do the dishes. So he gets in his car, and away he goes. He goes down a block or so, and Bob says, I'm not doing the dishes, Captain. I said, oh, geez, get the damn district back here. So we got a phone, we get him back, and he was in the office again. He said, district comes out, and he said, no trouble from now on. So anyways, he gets in the car again, and he says, I'm not doing them, Al. I don't care what you do. So then I said, oh, geez. So I get the phone, and I look, and Bob's down in the kitchen doing the dishes.
Yeah. I remember that.
So
He's not the only one. Carl Waddell, you'll remember this one.
We're gonna just be stop it just here, just for a moment. Okay, hold that thought, Wally.
So I have another little story, Al. We're getting back to the dishes because that was your, we call it pet peeve. Every 24-hour Sundays, you wanted the dishes done. I had my turn, I remember. Didn't like it, but I did them. And I remember Carl. This was the good one. This was a little different because he wasn't in on lunch at that time or something, and we had to do dishes. And you asked him to do the dishes, and he said, I'm not doing the dishes. Same thing, I'm not doing the dishes. And he said, well, yes, you are, Carl. It's your turn. You're going to do the dishes. He goes, "You want me to do the dishes?" Do you remember he brought the garbage pail over to the end of the table? He took his arm, he took every dish and went into the garbage. That's what Carl did. Remember Carl?
I'm sure he'll be seeing this. I was talking to him last evening.
Yeah, so can I talk about this picture?
Absolutely.
Okay, I gotta put my glasses on here. This is a picture that you're in as an officer at Old Number 8 on Alta Vista, I think
Yeah,
this
it's a
was.
senior man.
Okay, you were senior man there. Who are these guys beside you?
Turn it around so everybody can see it, and we'll focus in on it with the camera.
Yeah. There's yourself on the end.
Okay, this is John Carrier.
Yeah.
Hold on there, guys. I'm going to do
And,
something. Just one moment there, Al, if you don't mind.
Foxley.
We got a bit of a shine to it, so hold it down a little bit there. Perfect. Good. Okay.
Foxley.
So we're gonna, and then just bring your end down a bit, Wally.
My end?
Yeah, perfect. Let's go through it again.
Okay, this is Al Cotie. You guys got hardly any hair.
It's dark hair anyway.
Way back then. Anyways, this is John Carrier.
Yeah.
He's deceased now.
Yeah.
And Jeff Oxley.
That's right.
I don't know he's retired.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And Larry King,
Yeah. Big Larry.
minus 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Eh? And he was a wonderful guy to work with too. He did everything. This lady, I think she was in there taking pictures
Okay.
and writing a story about something, I don't know. But this is
I'm trying
King,
to remember.
Terry, you must know him around.
Oh, Terry Thompson.
Terry Thompson.
Terry Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah, Terry Thompson.
Jeff Narway.
He's retired now, eh?
Yeah.
And this is Jeff Foxley. No,
Oh, Jeff Narway.
Jeff Narway.
Too many Jeffs.
Yeah, Jeff Narway.
Yeah.
And he was working on my house about that time.
Do you remember his nickname?
No.
Cement Head.
Oh, yeah.
From hockey.
They had a bunch of Narways and they called them all by
Nicknames.
nicknames. So they named them all Cement Head, Arrowhead, and everything.
Arrowhead, yeah.
And this is at
Seafields.
Seafields, yeah. He was a lieutenant then.
I don't know who the other guys. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
And this is Shaky Lou.
Shaky Lou.
Shaky Lou Morrow.
How come they call him Shaky?
Oh, he drank like a fish. But he had a gun,
A gun.
and they call the police. And
Cut.
We gotta continue this. I'm going to your home after work.
Yeah. All right.
This is
like to
Captain
know
Al
what you got.
Cotie again, and just a story that came by us. And Shaky Lou used to drink quite a bit, and on a Saturday night he'd get a little rambunctious. So the fellow's name was Norm. He was in at number 2 station. He drove the chief's car all the time.
Grant.
Norm Grant. His father was a sergeant in the Ottawa police.
Oh.
And in any event, Shaky Lou
Had a gun.
had a gun, but he got the beer first and the drinks, and he got sitting up on top of the stairs where he lived. So they called the police. Now, Norm Richardson's father was a sergeant in the police, and he came to the call. So anyways, he went in and tried to talk Shaky Lou away from his gun. And he says, I got a gun up here, and Shaky Lou's father said, yeah, but he said, I have a gun here too. He's a sergeant in the police. Shaky Lou said, yeah, but he says, I got the drop on you.
Oh my God.
So after that, I don't know how they talked Shaky Lou into getting rid of his gun, but they didn't put him in jail. Anyways,
Did you ever work at number 1 station on Churchill?
yes, I did.
Were you part of the ones that put the beer caps in the garage door, in between the walls, the garage door?
No.
Did you ever?
Never had anything to do with beer or
You
liquor
never
or
had to go
alcohol.
buy a case?
No, no.
Never.
Now I have to remind you that
That was before my time.
Chief Amos, is that how you pronounce it?
Thomas.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell a story.
He's still on payroll.
That's why he's just sitting there going,
I'm gonna tell a story about Carl Waddell
All right.
at new Station 12, which is on Richmond.
Yes, yes.
You were retired by then, but it's just a good laugh. So Carl was in the gym,
Yes.
had a good workout, got in the shower, was all lathered up, and we got a fire call. So he
Oh, I
jumps out
remember
of the
that.
shower, and he hit the pole, just his jockey shorts. And we're sitting in the pump, and we're waiting for Carl. Where's Carl? Where's Carl? Oh, finally, we gotta go. So sorry. We're waiting for him. Finally, we get out of the pump, and as we get out of the pump, the back door of the station apparatus floor opens up, and there's Carl on his hands and knees, all covered in soap. Go!
I think he broke his leg or something.
So we roll out on the we close the doors and we roll out on the ramp, and the call gets canceled.
Yes. That's all.
So we back up. We go back into the stairs. Well, Carl's made it to the stairs, going back upstairs. He's on the stairs. He's kind of white as a ghost, all covered in soap. And he says, "What happened to you?" He says, "I don't know." He says, "I hit the pole and I went down it like it wasn't even there."
Oh yeah, the soap.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
But can you
yeah.
imagine if he did that at old one on Parkdale?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
That
you.
was
So
before
the
my
story
time.
about the one in Parkdale, that actually pole
Station-
was a little longer.
Station
Old
11,
Station
yeah.
that was a little longer because the horses that used to run out of there, they had to make it higher up.
Yeah, that was a high pole.
Well,
And a lot of people that were stationed there from other stations missed that last foot and a half and realized
yeah,
that
I hear you.
they got ankles that were maybe sprained or whatever.
Well, I have one little story, and I won't bother you anymore with my stories. But this is Captain Al again. I don't know when, but I was a lieutenant at number 12 station. And this was before, I don't know when. I thought maybe one of you guys might know. But anyhow, we go down, I get a call in the park down underneath where they build that fancy road,
The transitway there.
the transway, and it's the Ottawa police. So they said, guy said, I'm so-and-so, and he says, we got a guy up in the tree there. This is at night at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock. And he says, I want you to set your aerial up and I'll go up and see. I said, well, you're just about in tune, but I said, I don't let anybody climb my aerial. I said, I'm in charge of it, and if you get hurt or something. So he said, well, put the aerial up. And I said, I'll go up. So anyways, I go up the aerial, and it's really dark, and I get up there, and there's a kid way up. It's up about 80 feet. And he's there, and I said, wait, what's going on? He said, I was just having a joint, he says. And he said, I was having a beer. And he says, I had my guitar, and I'm just playing softly. And he says, I got a phone call. And first thing you know, the police are chasing me. And he said, I'm climbing a tree and I'm not bothering anybody. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, will you do one thing? And he said, yes. I said, don't make any noise or stay quiet. So I come down the aerial. I said, there's nobody up there. I said to the policeman, were you there?
No.
No?
It's a good story though, yeah. I see where it's going.
So I said, there's no one up there. And I said, I'll be taking the aerial down. And he said, do you mind if I go up? And I said, I know, I told you can't climb higher. So I put the aerial down, and he said, well, I saw him going up there. I said, well, I don't know, you might get your eyes checked or something. So anyway, we went back to the station, but I just wondered if anybody ever remembered that call, because I
wouldn't remember that one.
no.
So we're gonna take a break.
Anyhow,
So I was the lucky guy who received that helmet as a gift from a little boy that I met in Elmer. He was the son of one of my good friends, and he offered me that helmet because he thought it would please me. So I was really pleased. And for the last 15 years, that helmet has his place in my library in a glass, and there's almost no dust on it. It's not new, but there's no dust. And I'm pleased today to give it back to the person who it belongs. And I'm glad to hear the story that goes after the helmet went down the track.
Now, if I may, apparently it was originally found in a barn.
Absolutely.
And some kids found it in a barn?
Yes, the kid that gave me find the helmet in an abandoned and almost collapsed barn in Elmer, near the Cook in Elmer.
Yeah. And we have no idea how it got to the barn.
I don't know.
Maybe there's a secret there, Al, that you're not
I
telling
must
us.
have went to sleep. I was barn fire there.
So please accept this helmet and all the consequence that Mr. Cotie had because he lost it.
That's a big honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll gladly present this to my former captain.
Well, isn't that nice? Thank you, Ron.
As I say, it's been 37 years since you were my captain.
38 years. Oh, 37.
37, yeah. And I'm getting close to retiring myself. Just a few months away now.
That's good,
So
Ron.
I hope I have the longevity you've had in retirement.
Well, it's a pleasure. I never forgot you or most of my guys that went through the station, and it was a pleasure to have you there.
Likewise, you were a true mentor and a really good mentor in my career. Thank you.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you. That's very nice. Would you like to?
That's funny, eh?
Thank you very much. Yes, it is.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.